Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, if you read the title, I'm going to be talking about the book The Mountain Is You. So I have it here and I just finished reading this book and I feel like I learned so much from it. So I really wanted to share the top 10 unique lessons that I learned. And this is by author Brianna Wiest and she has a few more books. So I have her other book here. It's still in the packaging. It's called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way That You Think, and I haven't started reading this yet. I'm keeping this by my bedside so that I can read a few pages every night or so, but this is another book by her that's really good. But in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about this book, and it's about self-sabotage and how you're holding yourself back. So she's literally saying that the mountain is you. You are the one that's standing in your own way. So the main point of me making this video is because I want all of you watching this to learn from it, and obviously I want you guys to read this book too, because I feel like it offers such a new perspective that I haven't read in any of the other self-help productivity books that are often recommended out there. She just has a style of writing that just speaks to you. So I'm just going to be covering 10 unique lessons and I hope that these resonate with you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video, and I would love to make more of these. The very first lesson that I learned is that self-sabotage often comes as a form of misguided self-care, but it can be something as simple as procrastinating, or another very common thing is overthinking. We all do it, and by procrastinating or by overthinking, we often think that we're protecting ourselves from the unknown, or we think that by overthinking the worst case scenario we're protecting ourselves, or if we know that we've already thought about it and it happens, we think that that's us. That's a form of self-care in a way. So instead of doing that, the next time that you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Why am I putting off this task? Why haven't I applied to that job? Why haven't I sent that email? Why haven't I posted that video? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of other people? Do I think that I won't be good enough? Ask yourself those hard questions. I think as we get older, we realize that the better we know ourselves, the easier life is. Why am I overthinking about this one thing? Is it my relationship with someone? Is it my performance at work? Why am I overthinking it, and why am I procrastinating this? So by asking yourself why, you'll find out what it is that you're so afraid of, or what it is that you're avoiding. So the next lesson is that emotional independence is true freedom. So when it comes to emotional independence, it means relying on factors for external validation. Say you have a new outfit that you want to wear and you ask your family members if you should be wearing that. Instead of asking other people if you should be doing that thing, or if you should wear that outfit, ask yourself, why do I need them to say yes? That doesn't mean that the people around you aren't good people, but oftentimes the more opinions that we get about something, the less likely we are to actually follow through with it. And the way to counteract this is to build that emotional independence. So this can include journaling, self-reflection, or meditation practices. So by doing these things, you're getting to know yourself on a deeper level. By journaling, you're getting to know yourself, why you act the way that you do, what triggers you, what makes you happy, what brings you fulfillment in life. So by building emotional independence, you're going to rely less on what other people's opinions are, what other people are expecting. So the third point is resentment as unmet potential. In the book, Brianna is saying that resentment often arises from seeing qualities or achievements in others that we wish we had. LinkedIn is the worst one for me. If you see someone on LinkedIn and they got the job that you were interviewing for, tell yourself that you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. We're all on our own path in this life, and just because somebody got that opportunity, it doesn't mean that there isn't more out there for you. And this is something that we have to remind ourselves, especially when social media always makes you feel like you're behind, and you really can't compare yourself with someone that you don't know. You're just seeing them post that one thing on social media, so don't compare yourself. So this is probably the lesson that resonated the most with me, and that is your comfort zone is your sabotage zone. So by staying comfortable, you're actually limiting your potential, and especially if you're in your 20s, your 30s, I mean, even if you're in your 40s or 50s, it really doesn't matter. At any point, you could always turn your life around. You could always create a better life for yourself. It really doesn't matter how old you are. That's just something that you tell yourself. If you aren't aiming to be better than you were yesterday, or if you're not aiming for a bigger life than you already have, and you're telling yourself all these excuses, you need to let that go and just take it one day at a time. Who said you can't have that one thing? Who said you can't get into that master's program? These are all your limiting beliefs that are playing against you. So get out of your comfort zone and you will see your life flourish. The next one is something that we all do, and that is fear disguised as logic. So in the book, Brianna talks about how over-rationalizing decisions can actually mask deeper feelings of failure or even rejection. So for example, when I was in grad school, I got the opportunity to attend a conference in New York, and at that point I had never taken a flight by myself, and I was so scared. And I remember just thinking of all the ways that this could go wrong. For context, I'm Canadian, so we have to cross the border to get there, and I was just so nervous because just going through that security procedure alone when I'm with family or with friends always scared me. I just remember not wanting to go to this because I wasn't going with anyone else, and I had never traveled by myself. Even though Toronto and New York, it's not even an hour, but I just remember being so afraid to do this alone for the first time. And also at the conference, I didn't know anyone there. I don't like doing things alone. And I told myself, okay, how about we just be positive this one time and then see what happens. I think I knew it. I was at the conference, I was making all these new connections, and it was one of the best experiences of my entire, and I have to say it was one of the best experiences ever, because I was able to take a flight alone. And after I took that one flight alone, I've been taking flights alone for conferences, for work, to visit friends. You just have to stop over rationalizing and convincing yourself of your decision. You have to take it a step further and come up with new patterns of thinking that aren't so negative. Because anytime that I've over rationalized my decisions, it's usually because I was afraid of failing or rejection. The sixth point is that your struggles are a mirror. So I had to read this part twice just because I wanted to ask myself, okay, what is this teaching me? And it's how external conflicts are actually mirroring your internal battles. For example, if you're dealing with a situation at work, or if you're dealing with something in your personal life, if you're having an issue with a friend, ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me about myself? You want to ask yourself, okay, what does this mean for me, and why am I so bothered by this? Journaling also helps with this. You need to know yourself on a deeper sense to come to that conclusion. Also, just have the self-awareness to admit that to yourself. Becoming a better version of yourself also requires you to admit that you have these flaws and you have these concerns about yourself that you want to work on. So now we're on the seventh lesson, and that is resistance is a sign of growth. So she says that resistance to change signals proximity to transformation. For example, if you want to push through that resistance, the most tangible thing that you can do is set micro goals. You want to become a morning person, set those micro goals. So start sleeping an hour earlier every day. And if your goal is to wake up at 6 a.m., start by waking up at 7 a.m. and set your timer back 20 minutes every day. And another part of this is practicing self-compassion. One quote I read is that, would you ever talk to your best friend the way that you talk to yourself? And the answer is always no. So treat yourself like you would treat your best friend, and also just treat yourself like a child that you're taking care of. You need to be nice to yourself, and if you're not getting to where you want to be, by being meaner to yourself, you're not going to get there any faster. Recharge and then start again. And with that, the next lesson is the power of micro shifts. This is more about how small, consistent actions can actually snowball over time. If you're someone who wants to start working out 3 to 4 times a week, start by working out once a week or twice a week. Slowly add in different forms of exercise that you actually enjoy. So by starting out with these micro shifts, your body is getting used to the fact that, okay, I'm someone who now wants to work out. I enjoy working out. These are the exercises that I want to do. That is something that you will start enjoying. So ditch the grand gestures and focus more on micro shifts. If you start small and then transition into something bigger, you're able to add it into your routine in a more realistic manner, and you're also more likely to continue with that habit of working out. The ninth lesson is that your vision of success might not be your own, but Brianna says in the book to take it a step further and ask yourself, are these my true desires, or are they societal expectations? So every year I write down my top goals for the year, and when I read this book, I went back to those goals and I asked myself, are these goals, which one of these goals is for me and which one of these are for other people? And it kind of got me thinking, okay, some of these things I want for myself because it's years and years of hard work in my self-development journey, or my passions that I do outside of work and school. But some of these things are just for other people. So you have to think about what your vision for what a successful you is like, and ask yourself, is this for me or is this for others? And I found that doing the viral day in the life as my future self ChatGPT exercise really helped me frame, okay, this is what I want my life to look like. And almost all of those things that I mentioned in my prompts have nothing to do with what society is expecting of me. The last unique lesson from the book The Mountain Is You is that healing is not linear, and that is okay. Access to way too many people, in my opinion, so we can see what everyone's doing, what they're accomplishing, where they're working, what promotion they have, what program they're getting accepted to. It's all of these things that you see when you experience a setback in your own life. Setbacks are all a part of the healing process. A personal story of mine is that when I had graduated from my master's, it took me a while. It took me a few months to land a full-time job, and I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, I have 2 degrees now. Why is it taking me so long? LinkedIn was not my best friend at this time, and I remember seeing that and asking myself, okay, like what could I have done differently? I'm spending all these hours applying to jobs, cold emailing people, having coffee chats with people, but I'm still not getting anywhere closer to having a job. Think of it as climbing a mountain. So if you're climbing a mountain and then you find that say you're climbing a mountain and then there's one part that you can't hold on to, what are you going to do? You're going to find another part that you can hold on to instead. So don't see it as a linear path for yourself in life. And also, if you experience a setback, just keep going. Just take some time to see if you can change anything else, and if you can't, then just keep going. Sometimes you'll even have to go back down and find a different path, but that doesn't mean that you're any less capable of climbing that mountain. We're all capable of climbing that mountain, and the mountain is you. If you think about it, you are the one that's holding yourself back or bringing yourself forward. And if you haven't already, please go read this book. Honestly, it's one of the first books I'm reading this year, and it really flicked a switch in my brain, and I feel like I just learned so much from it. So I would love if all of you experience the same thing, and I hope you like this video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.